So I just changed a string and I need to tune my cello. So I am going to be showing you how to tune your cello when it is quite badly out of tune. And hopefully you will learn a couple of my tips and tricks to make tuning your cello less stressful and where you feel confident doing it. So I'm going to start with the A string. We always want to start with the top string, this one. Now I have my handy dandy tuner here. This is called Tunable. And you can see it draws a line based on how in tune I am. So if there's pink on top, it means the note is too high. If there's pink on the bottom, it means the note is too low. So if I pluck the A string, you can see it's a little bit sharp. So it's not too bad. It's just a little bit above that little green indicator on the side. So all I'm gonna do is use the fine tuners. I'm gonna move the fine tuner flatter. Now this follows the same principle as a bottle cap. Tighty, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So from our perspective, with the cello in front of us, loosening is gonna feel like we're turning it to the right. However, if we face the cello to ourselves, then we loosen it, we're going to the left. So you can also experiment a little bit with the fine tuners. You can loosen them quite a bit, see what happens to the sound. Tighten it quite a bit, not too much because it could snap the string. Just do one string at a time if you're going to experiment and just see how it changes. Then you'll get really used to going left, going right, that kind of thing. So I have loosened it a little bit. So I'm going to show you the tuning app again in a second. That's much better. So I'll show you while plucking. Right there, watch the green. So it's right in the middle. When I pluck, it sometimes makes it a little spike, but that's fine. Okay, D string. The D is quite flat. And I would actually like to have a little more room on the fine tuner. So sometimes what happens is we tighten it so much over time because humidity and temperature may have lowered the string. So then we tighten it in order to get the string higher, then we run out of room. So that brings me to a very important point. When you are tuning a cello, you need to understand what the different directions mean and how to get there. So if the note is really low, like this one is, it's a little too low, you need to understand that the shorter the string, the higher the note. So when you tighten a string, you actually sort of make the string shorter. Just the tension makes the string shorter. You can imagine like a rubber band, which I actually have right here. So if this is your string and I hold it right here, I'm going to make the distance between my two fingers shorter and I stretch it. It looks like it's the same distance, but if you were to loosen it, it's actually shorter. So that's how it'll work. So let's say that my string is very low. It's going to be sort of loose like this. Let's say this is the bridge. This is where it attaches at the top. Top, bridge is down here. So it's like that. It's very loose. Now I make it I tighten it. It looks like it's still the same length, but the tension is a lot more. If I were to loosen it, then it would be shorter. So that is how tuning works. So I would like to have a little more room. So I'm going to actually make the D string quite a bit lower. There we go, that's a little better. Now I can move the fine tuner easily. So that is very flat. I'll show you what it looks like on the tuning app. You see all the pink? That line right there, that's when I was playing it. When I pluck, sometimes it goes a little all over the place when it's that loose. Because you can imagine, if I pluck, then I put more tension on the string, and then I could make it higher. So I'll draw one nice long line on the tuning app and then show you. Way too low, you see? Okay, so what I'm going to do is follow the string to find the D peg. So the D peg is going to be I'll lower the end pin. The D peg is this one, the top right. So I make the cello facing me, top right. I'm gonna make it a little bit tighter. So I'm gonna move it away from me. There we go. I wasn't sure if you heard that little pop sound. That's just the string moving. So that's a little too high. So I'm gonna loosen it a tiny bit. That's better. That's a nice D. All in the green. There we go. Those two are nice now. So the G is also quite flat, and I would like more room. Probably there. That sounds yucky. So the G, on the other hand, because I like having a little more traction, it just feels easier. I have the cello actually facing away from me. That's because I'm right-handed. I like having the pegs on the same side of my body. It's really awkward going on the other side. So if you're left-handed, you may do this to the reverse. So when I'm working with these pegs, I move it so it's on my right side. When I'm working with these pegs, I once again swivel the cello so it's on my side. Wow, the C string really fell. Sound like a bass. We'll get to that one. That happens. I just changed it like 5 minutes before this video. Okay, so let's keep working on the G. We have to make it tighter. Okay, so that sounds great to me. And the tuner agrees. You'll see there's a little bit of green all the way there in the middle. That was when I was plucking. So, sounds decent. Whenever you move with the pegs, the bridge changes tension. So as soon as you're done doing the big tuning, these big pegs, they make very large changes to the notes. Then you'll have to go over and do another fine combing. So let's work on that C string that slipped. So I know it's gonna need quite a bit. Before I move though, I always double check that it's in the grooves here and here on the bridge. And it is, so we're good. So I'm just gonna move it a little bit at a time. It's at an A now, for those of you who know what that means. A, so we need to go A, A sharp, B, C. So 4 more. And I probably move it about ½ inch or 3 millimeters at a time. B flat. There's a B, almost there. There's our C. It's still a little flat. Okay, it's in the green now. So there's my graph. Started really low, it's almost there, and then that was the last few plucking, so it was really close to the middle. Now obviously when I talk, it's going to be really giant jumps because no one talks in tune. We have musicality in our voices. Okay, so let's check. It's close, so I could probably do it just with the fine tuners, so I'll take you through that process as well. So we're about 8-9 minutes into the video now. And once you get better at tuning, the most time tuning will ever take you is probably 10-15 minutes. I'm going a lot slower than I normally would, and you'll get the hang of your own cello. Now the other tip with tuning is the more you do it, not only the better you get, but the more often you tune your cello, the better it's going to stay in tune. Cellos are very grumpy. They're kind of like drama queens. If you don't practice them, they go out of tune. So the more you practice, the better your cello will stay in tune. So I'm just going to do this process now without talking so that you can see on my tuning app how it goes. So I'm going to play the note, show you it, adjust, and then show you the note again on the tuning app. much better. That's good. You see the long green line? C string. And it slipped again. This is super common after you change a string, so don't get discouraged if this happens to you. You know, this is actually ideal for the video because it shows how temperamental cellos can sometimes be. So I'm just gonna do my process again. And I may pause the video and just let it sit there for a second. Yeah, it's slipping. I'm gonna have to pause the video and come back. And then when I'm back, after the cello has settled, we'll continue. I am back with my trusty water bottle. I got some water. Okay, and it stayed pretty stable. It's around an A flat. So I'm pressing in really deep with the peg as I'm twisting. It's at an A, so I'm just gonna switch my grip so I can press in even more. Now if your hands get sweaty or your palms start feeling a little tired, you can just take a break. The cello doesn't have to be tuned all at once if it's being very finicky. There's a B flat, we're getting there. So those of you who don't know what a B flat is, we're about 3 notes away from C. We're at a B flat, we need to get to a B, which is next, and then we'll be at a C. Okay, we're at a B, it's getting there. Time to stand up, because I'm pressing it in so much, I'm actually using my body weight to help. Okay, we're at a flat C. So I'm just gonna move it up a little bit more. Okay, so it's still flat, but it's staying, which is the key. Now I can go do the fine tuners. So I'll play the note, I'll show you how flat it is before I start using the fine tuners. So you can see it's in the pink. Again, I have to go fine tune again because this is a full tuning my cello video. I'm going to keep going, but if you've gotten what you needed, you can pause and continue. But if you're interested, I may find more tips on how to continue tuning. So if you want, stay tuned. Pun intended. Just going to go quick here. So what we're looking for are these perfect fifths. They sound like this. Yeah, cello's super happy and so am I. So that did take me 16 minutes to get to that point, but I did just change a string. So this is probably the most temperamental my cello will ever be, really, if I continue playing it every day. So if you have any questions about tuning that I didn't cover, or if you find yourself just not being able to get to the point where the cello is nice and happy and so are you and everything is right in the world again, send me a message or put a comment below and I'm here to help you.